Well, good morning. I want to welcome everybody joining us online, our friends in Churchill, our friends in Morden, or wherever else you are joining us, everybody from the warehouse and the fire hall and the factory. If you are new here, I want to welcome you. My name is Todd. I'm lead pastor here at Riverwood, and it is such a great way to start this week ahead of us by quieting our hearts and singing the story of Christ. But can I be honest with you? I don't know what's happening to me. I don't know if I've been conditioned or I've been manipulated or if maybe this is just a symptom of getting a little bit older. But I've been coming home the last couple of weeks after a long day at the office and saying to Carolyn, hey, how would you like to watch a Hallmark Christmas movie with me? What's happening to me? And let's face it, if you've seen one, you've seen all 417, right? Because they are all the same. In fact, let me show you what I mean. She lives in a big city, and she's got a high-powered executive job that is sucking the life out of her. Okay, I'm going to do the heavy lifting here, but you got to show up, okay? So we're going to do this together, and you have a part to play, and I have a part to play. You ready? Okay, here we go. She lives in a big city, and she's got an executive, high-powered job that is sucking the life out of her. Ooh, that's right. Well, she's engaged to Brad, a distracted workaholic who walks around with one of those Bluetooth headsets, and he is so emotionally unintelligent. You got it. Suddenly, she must go back to her hometown, Evergreen Pines Falls Junction, a town of a population of 18 people. Why does she have to go back? Well, it's obvious, because her aunt owns a bakery that the big bad bank is going to repossess if she does not get it saved by Christmas Eve. Save the bakery. Yes. Soon after she gets there, she goes to a coffee shop with one employee who knows everybody in the town, and that's where she meets him. He wears flannel, owns a small business that isn't making any money. He has a dog named Buddy. He's got a pickup truck that never gets dirty, and he's got emotional grief tucked into the flannel pocket of his shirt. Yes, he's looking for love. But they come from different worlds, so don't like each other. Soon they are forced to decorate the Christmas tree together or hang the lights at the Christmas festival in town. And lowering her guard just a little bit, she confesses to him, "Oh, I didn't realize how much I missed this place." But as love is blooming, December 23rd comes around and everything goes sideways. The big city calls. Brad is wondering where she is. Shoot, we forgot about Brad. You got it. And the big deal is about to be lost if she doesn't return home. Meanwhile, it's revealed that flannel guy has been lying to her. He's not poor. His business isn't failing. He's genuinely sweet and sensitive, emotionally present. But he has a secret. He's expected to take over the family empire and inherit the family fortune. Dang. The climactic scene. It's Christmas Eve. The town gathers. The pageant is a hit. The bakery is saved. And Brad is told to take a hike. You got it. So she tells her boss to take a hike as well. And miraculously, flannel guy uses complete sentences to express his love. The snow falls perfectly. They kiss. And as she stays in Evergreen Pine Falls Junction, and a caption flashes across the screen. And you know what happens 1 year later. They're around the Christmas tree. They have a baby in their arms, surrounded by family and friends, living in their mansion. All right, you know how this story goes, right? The credits roll, and it ends, and you are left with a warm, this is probably why I like these so much, you're left with a warm, fuzzy feeling, and you are high on romance. But if we're honest, many of us treat the actual Christmas story with the same kind of formulaic Christmas trope, right? It's all about the angel and the star and the baby in a manger and the shepherds and a silent night and the wise men who bring gifts. And yet there are some who refuse to sentimentalize Christmas. And Charles Wesley was one of them. Charles Wesley was about 37 years old back in 1744 when he wrote the lyrics to the song we just sang. But he wasn't living in a cozy little town looking for love. He wasn't living in a dreamy, candlelit world. He was living in a world that was very, very difficult. It was a world where a laborer was expected to live not much longer than 30 years. Kids didn't go to school, have Christmas parties. They went to the factory. They went to the mine, little hands and soot-filled faces, 12 hours a day working. Drinking water drawn from the river and the wells, thick with sewage and animal waste, was causing dysentery and typhoid. Lice was infecting the bedding. A persistent cough was just a slow death sentence, while smallpox and tuberculosis thrived on the poverty and the poor conditions. And don't bother going to church looking for good news or solace, because when you went to church, if you were to have a seat like many of you do here today, you'd have to rent that seat or buy that seat. And it was only the wealthy and the rich that could do that. So if you were poor, you had to stand in the back. Or many poor people didn't even bother coming to church. This was a world at war, literally. Austria, France, Spain, Great Britain, the Dutch, they were all fighting one another. This is the world that Charles Wesley lived in. Politically unstable, economically strained, militarized and anxious, full of displaced people, wounded soldiers, widows, and orphans. And to fund the war effort, the government kept adding taxes and tariffs. It was a tough place to live. So Wesley sits down in this environment to write the lyrics to a Christmas song, anticipating Christmas. And he doesn't go to the normal tropes of the angels and the manger. There is no cow or shepherds or star, no silent night, no tranquil little baby laying in the straw. Rather, he writes about craving. He writes about longing. He writes about anticipation. He writes a song that sounds a lot less like a Hallmark soundtrack and a lot more like a desperate prayer. It says this: "Come, thou long expected Jesus, born to set thy people free. From our fears and sins release us. Let us find our rest in thee. Born thy people to deliver, born a child and yet a king, born to reign in us forever. Now thy glorious kingdom bring." You know, as a church, we have taken on the challenge of reading a chapter a day. And so we've been doing this for about a month and a half, 2 months now. Every morning we wake up in the morning and we read our chapter. And if you don't have one of these lit Bibles, we have more on the way in the new year. But you can go online on our website or on our app and you can find out where we are. And this last week, we read Luke chapter 13 to 19. But today I'd like to break the pattern, and instead of going back and talking about a passage we already read, I'd love to talk about a passage that's coming up at the end of this next week. On day 69, on page 92, in John chapter 1. Now John is the writer of the fourth gospel. So we've already read Matthew, we've already read Mark, we're halfway through Luke, and then comes the Gospel of John. But John writes his story of Jesus so differently than everybody else. He doesn't go to the Christmas tropes. He doesn't go to the formula. There is no wise men, angels, lowing cows, or myrrh or frankincense. Mary and Joseph don't even show up in his story. Essentially, John is saying, hey, you want to know the real Christmas story? I'll tell you the real Christmas story. I'll pull back the curtain and I'll take you to where it all began. And he writes this: in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In the beginning, where have we heard those words before? Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning. He's taking us back to eternity, back to where it all began. There, long before the manger, long before the Roman Empire, the taxes, the tariffs, the disease, long before the mountains and the streams and the trees and the clouds, he says, long before that was the Word. In the beginning was the Word. What a curious phrase. In the beginning was the Word? What does that even mean? Well, let me show you what it means in a little bit of an unconventional way. I'm just going to leave for a minute, okay? I'm going to leave, and I'm going to just go back behind here. And now, on the stage, what do you see? In terms of somebody present, in terms of a person, what do you see? Nothing. Yet my words are filling the space. And where there are words, there is intellect. There is creative power. There is a person. Words assume a who, not just a what. They imply a mind. Where there are words, there is a being. That's why John doesn't say, in the beginning was an idea, or in the beginning was a force. He says, in the beginning was the Word. It's John's way of saying, in the beginning was God, even though you couldn't see him. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word became flesh and made his dwelling amongst us. The Word stepped out. The Word, the voice, stepped into our world. The Word made himself visible. That's what this means. That's what this is all about. And that's the story we're stepping into this week. Not a quiet romance in some little town looking for love. Not a cozy tale that ignores the difficulties of our world. But the moment eternity broke into history and God said, let me make myself known to you. Now, I won't deny that around Christmas time, and I feel it, that there's a certain kind of mysterious, kind of mystic vibe that goes on. I mean, we feel it, right? But it has nothing to do with new love found in Evergreen Pine Falls Junction, or a magical elf that slides down a chimney and leaves gifts behind, or even the wonder of coming around a table with turkey and ham on a special celebration meal, or chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Every part of our celebration, think about this, every part of our celebration in this next week is designed to remind us 'tis the season of anticipation. That's what it's all about. Anticipation is the fuel. Anticipation is the whole point. Charles Wesley lived in a world that was aching and needed a rescue, and so they anticipated a rescue. John was living in a world that had waited so long and was waiting for the coming Messiah, anticipating. And Christmas itself is all about longing. Maybe you've heard this line before, a thrill of hope. A weary world rejoices. The problem is that we get so easily distracted, and we have so many creative ways today to fill that ache, to fill that longing, to fill that desire, to fill that anticipation. And there are so many people in our world that see you as a consumer, as a source of money. And so what they've done, whether it be in entertainment or products, they have found ways to tap into that desire, to tap into that craving, to tap into that longing, that anticipation. We have to be very, very careful that we don't find our satisfaction in those things rather than in what was intended, because it's so easy for us to substitute. You have to remember, the movie ends. The couple ends up having a fight and difficulties they have to work through. The sugar high crashes. The gifts break and are forgotten. The credit card bill arrives, and the ache returns for the rest of the year. Listen, all of that longing that we're going to go into this next week with, all that longing about the wonder on kids' faces as they open their gifts, all that longing and wonder and hope for peace around the table, and maybe just a break from all the pressures of work, and maybe just some of that romanticized feeling. All of that longing, it is not silliness. It is prophetic. It points back and it reminds us that our deepest longing is for something this world can never satisfy, and that is for Jesus. We stand in anticipation, and we declare when Jesus shows up, chains he shall break, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we. Let all within us, let everything within us praise his holy name, because Jesus is the answer to that deepest craving, and Jesus is our hope and our great anticipation.